If you have ever felt like no matter how much you achieve, how much you give, or how much you love, you're still not enough, this video is for you. What if I told you that feeling unworthy isn't who you are? It's actually a trauma response. And worse, it's been so normalized, you probably don't even realize you're still living your life from this wound. So today we're diving into the trauma responses that show up in your life so you can identify the survival patterns keeping you stuck in self-doubt. And trust me, once you see it, you'll never unsee it. But first, hi, my name is Yula. I am a shadow worker, a womb worker, vocalist, and I have guided hundreds of women in the last 4 years in live workshops and online on their journey of healing and to become the most empowered version of themselves. So let's get straight into this. The unworthiness wound is the subconscious belief that we are not enough. It is the subconscious belief that we don't deserve love, and no matter what we're doing, it's never enough. So we will go through how the unworthiness wound is showing up in trauma responses. So when I go through these, I would really invite you to take a moment and feel into it. Like, which of these does resonate with you? Which of these do you feel in your body? And yeah, to really identify, where does your unworthiness lie? How does it express itself into the world? And there might be some that you don't even know yet, or that you were not so aware, because the unworthy wound is, not the most obvious sometimes. And especially if we have subconscious patterns, they are subconscious for a reason, right? Like, we are mostly not aware of them. So if I go through these, just take a moment to see, okay, what does resonate with me? So first up, we have the fawn response. And this is when your survival system tells you that it is the safest way to avoid harm by people pleasing. So people pleasing, avoiding conflict, overgiving, and trying to appease to others. So trying to make yourself likable, trying to be accepted, even at the cost of abandoning yourself and your own truth. So this is when you become hyper-focused on everybody else's needs and you are neglecting your own needs. And so this is your survival strategy that you have adapted to as a child in order to keep you safe. And so if you're still struggling with that, your body tells you basically, hey, I'm still in this survival mode and I'm trying to make myself safe by doing all these things, by people pleasing. So this is a sign from your nervous system that there is still something inside you that is calling for healing. Because somewhere along the way in your childhood, you have learned, if I'm good to others, if I please others, that means I will receive love, the love that I deeply crave, and I receive the attention, and I receive being safe. By the way, if this resonates with you so far, I have a free masterclass. You can comment free masterclass down below, and I send you the link. And this is where we will go into the nervous system. There is a guided practice on how to rewire your nervous system really from your body, from unworthiness to worthiness, because the unworthiness wound rules our whole entire life. And if we start healing this wound, this is when our whole life transforms and shifts. So if you're interested in that, comment free masterclass down below. Then next up, we have the freeze response. And so this is when your nervous system slams the brake and it numbs out, it disassociates, and it tries to disconnect from your emotional state. So this might show up as procrastination, as feeling numb, depression, moments of mentally checking out of a situation because you feel overwhelmed. And this is basically your brain pulling the emergency brake to avoid overwhelm. And this is how your system is coping with stress. By the way, while we're going through these, it is very likely that you don't only respond or resonate with just one trauma response. Like, could be 2, could be 3, could be all of them. So freeze response is basically our system shutting down, and that is when we feel stuck, when we feel dissociated from our emotions, and when we maybe try to cope with this by numbing ourselves out with addictions, all of these kind of things. So then we have the flight response. So this can show itself by overworking or overachieving. So here your system tries to survive by overachieving, by overdoing, by basically always running from something that you don't want to face. So this is the way you survive, right? You run away from something in the form of overworking, of always being in doing mode. So this can also show up in perfectionism, so always trying to do everything as perfect as you can and having super high standards for yourself by always being busy. So this is basically a self-protection loop that says, if I can just go fast enough, nothing can catch me, which of course is usually not the case. And also this will result in being exhausted because you're basically running all the time. So if you're chasing worthiness by being overly productive, by connecting your worth to your success and feeling unworthy when you're not successful, all of these are signs for the flight response. So next up we have the fight response, which can play out in either self-criticism, internalized anger, or externalized anger, where you lash out very quickly, where your fuse is very short, or where you put that anger towards yourself. So you're basically bashing yourself all the time in your mind, thinking that you can never do anything right, and being overly self-critical of either yourself or others, or both. So you might try to dominate situations, arguments, fights, all of these kind of things, because your system believes that power is protection. So again, all of the trauma responses are always ways that your system tries to protect itself and to stay safe. So again, if this is calling you, I really invite you to come and free masterclass down below, because we will go into this exactly. We will go into the nervous system, we will go into the body. There will be a movement practice and an emotional release practice with your body that I will guide you through. And also we will go even deeper into the unworthiness wound. And yeah, so you can start healing this wound and create a life that you love and where you feel safe without your system trying to protect you by doing all these things. And yeah, just cultivating safety inside yourself. So love, how to begin the shift? Like, now that we have gone through these trauma responses, what can we actually do in order to heal from that, in order to shift? So of course, I always say it, awareness is the first step, okay? Awareness of these is the first step. So again, take a moment, like, which of these does resonate with you? Maybe you want to even write it down and see, okay, like, that's me, that's me, that's me. Because once we become aware of something, we are pulling the shadow from the subconscious up into the light. And once we see something, we can take responsibility for it and start healing it. And then comes the action part, because we can know about our patterns, we can know about all these things, about our wounds, but until we actually feel them and process them from our bodies, in our bodies, only then we can really find the healing. Like, only the mental part is half of the work. Like, we need to actually go into these wounds and process them, because trauma is stuck in our body, it's stuck in our nervous system, and that's where we gotta go if we want to really create lasting change, because you can always rewrite the script. Okay loves, thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next one.